Hello again. This is the Waterman. Just a minute. Okay. Now, I'm going to title this. This is Spiritual Toolbox Short. I'm going to title this one. Okay, try to see what I can fit in the thing. I only got 100 spots here. But don't settle for existing as a one-bullet Barney Fife trying to do spiritual warfare in the place of God. The battle is the Lord's. Okay? Don't do that. Even if the Hulk Hogan of your carnal mind, that big bully tyrant in your mind, agrees with that Barney Fife thinking, that squatting false king in your mind. Even if Hulk Hogan is going, do you hear me now? Come on, brother. Don't buy into that. Don't let that bullies and tyrants, Barney Fife, do it. Okay? Now, excuse me just a minute. All right. See, just because you green like God, one time, you repent one time from the way you're thinking and turn back to God, doesn't mean you've arrived and got rid of all this dark, out of these dark grains of sand, out of one thought process. In the deep and the deeper, God blows it up, and now He's showing you. You got like in one ball that He's blowing up to the sizes from Earth to Alpha Centauri, 4.3 light years. And it's got like, 35,300 million trillion grains of that dark sand. Just because you germinated the seed of Christ. You've agreed with God one time. Got water baptized or something. Doesn't mean you should be out there to try, just take all of you and so on. Automatically, that ought to jump me up there to level 1024 and I'm ready to go to 2048. Well, you don't have the plasma bullets. It's 1024, 512, divided by 2. Down 256, 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. You're still at the 1. And then giving them all to all that good news. You haven't got that experience under your belt of habitually practicing, going back into God, resting and relying on God. You don't have all that green, that good news, that light, that God can use, that spark plug of God, that metron, the measure of faith, that seed of Christ, to shoot out that many. It's just going to laugh at you. Hulk Hogan, of your own carnal mind, is going to be going, can you hear me now? Be laughing and mocking at you. You won't be able to rest in God as you're building Noah's Ark, like Noah's name means rest. You won't be able to rest as you're doing God's work. Because that work's going to be trying to do it out of your own might and power. Man, you're not ready for all that. Here, you just got saved or whatever. God saves you, not yourself. The only thing you do is turn, agree with God. Here, go out and pass out books and tell them what all you. No. You're a baby. What does an infant, a newborn, do? Look cute and good and God and pee and poop and eat. What daddy and mommy, like Father God, remember in the spirit there's neither male or female. God is one. He's both. takes care of them, provides, does everything for that baby. For you. As a one, as a Barney Fife. Don't be out there trying to... Okay, I'm going to break this down. It might take me a couple of them here to do this. If I didn't have so much junk coming up and my voice cracking and junk, I'd do some little more sound effects. I'm going to still try to do them a little bit, but just try to get a point across. Like, hey, can you hear me now? And that's in place of God. God's cell phone. God's to those that he calls in you at the right level at that four-way intersection. To shut up that old carnal mind going zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Just go to nasty and green. Nasty and it's a greener pastures, but it's not God's true greener pastures. It's really brown. It's really poop. Good and evil. It's from the wrong tree. Don't go that way. It's a confusing and baffling wind. Let God spark plug. Shoot them out. All right, with whatever bullets you're provided at whatever level. If you just got a one, you just germinated one time, you got one bullet. That bullet's taken out like Barney Fife on the Andy Griffith show. The Andy's always been to carry the bullet in his pocket. That's like putting it under all that manure thinking. It's not even in his gun. It's not ready. It's not even ready to be one shot. You're trying to do it out of your own might and power. See, Zechariah 4:6. It's not out of your might, out of your own power, your own righteousness. That's good and evil stuff. That's boom, zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. It's confusing you, yeah. I can still act a little nutty, even if I am a little croupy. It might sound like Kermit the Frog a little bit at times. It's all right. I'm going to keep going. It's not about, it's long. I'm singing. Nah. There's a croup in it. That ain't Kermit the Frog. I'll sing on that to Miss Piggy. We don't want to eat that pig slop. That really zoom, zoom, and a boom, boom. No. Stop that stuff and go on. Let God zap it out. No. Let me read this one verse here to start out with. So that you don't have to list that bullies and tyrants and Barney Fife. And a little bit skinny, weaselly looking guy. Don Knotts, he was a good actor. I liked him. But it was a clown. That's what you got to look at. Your old carnal mind going with that thing, that serpent nature. Don't be stupid. I believe that thing. Like when Barney had old, his name Otis in that jail cell, and he said, "Here at the rock." It's the false rock. It's not Christ. And he's talking about his jail. He's putting him in that corral in his jail cell. Here at the rock, there'll be no writing on the wall. We do it by the letter of the law. The letter of the law kills, but the spirit of the law gives life. That's in 2 Corinthians 3:6. I got a little bit on that. I might get that later. So I might have to do 2 recordings here. I don't know. I just let God guide me. I do the homework and he guides me to ask him, let your spirit flow. Let your rhetoric flow. And then, okay? Shoot out that sacred beast nature in your mind. That dark thinking, at whatever level you're equipped to handle. If you just germinated one time, you're 2 to the 0 power. You're a nothing. 0 power equals 1. It's like you're putting one gun, take that out of the pocket, putting it in there. You got one gun. Don't be like Barney Fife and try to go out there and conquer the world, conquer all that worldly thinking. At 35,300 million trillion dark thinking, all one thought process. Barney Fife probably trying to do all of them. The myriad of all your thinking process. 93 billion light years, and it's increasing. If you feed to that stuff, it's death. It's the Broadway. And it brings destruction, right? It's like it's in the natural. The universe is been pushed apart and it's going out into a cold death. Going cold to God. As you green like God, it's doing the other way, kind of like a big crunch back into that singularity. And it's growing increasingly hot and dense and light, bright. But then it gets in there like in a black hole. Nothing, no physical. Natural. See and hear and taste, touch, and smell with this Hulk Hogan in your mind. Can you hear me now? Imposter light. With Barney Fife saying, that's a rock. You do it by the letter of the law. You know, the letter of the law kills. He said, there'll be no writing on the wall. Now that writing on the wall is at 666. You don't erase that and try to put God's name, his nature, his character, and his authority, his anima, or his shame in there. You obey that like King Nebuchadnezzar, this joke of a king, this false king. It's one like Andy Griffith. On Andy Griffith, Don Knotts was carrying on acting this Barney Fife. That's a great character on that. That's funny. Okay? He's like, look, man, I got my bullet right here. Trying to get it out. The robbery's going on or whatever, his speeder. He's in there preaching. Is that in your carnal mind? Condemn you to hell. To that 666 thinking. To your own humanistic nature. Humanistic nature. That 666 beast nature. In your forehead, in your mind, and in your hand, your works. Putting you in bondage. Locking you up in his. That carnal mind's jail cell. And here, old Hulk Hogan over here. Oh, he's going, can you hear me now? It's like mocking, making fun of the seed that they're calling to you. You want to chop this out? You want to skin this out? Because I'm bringing the storms to heat this up so it can be chopped out. This one's a tougher one. We're going to heat it up till it melts off. You want me to skim that off? You want to enlist the ace gunfighter at whatever level of good news that God's increased you into himself. Whatever number of plasma bullets that's in that gun, not just the one. Hopefully you've done it, germinated that seed. How that poop thing, you germinate it like in the garden, and then start growing. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, it grows every time. At these 4-way stops when and God. At the first level, after you germinate it, that storm only has like one bullet and shoot one thing out. Did you travel through life and there's another stop? This one needs 2 bullets to do it. Plasma bullets. Good news. So you do it again, it goes from 2 to the 0 power 1 to 2. It doubles. Then 4, then 8, then 16, 32, 64. Pretty soon that thing's growing brighter and brighter and brighter. More heavy, more dense, more glorious, more bullets for the God to get his signal through. Can you hear me now, my child? My children hear my voice and the voice of that other one, that Hulk Hogan and Barney Fife in your mind. They won't listen to. Read about that and study it. The My children hear my voice and the voice of the other one they won't listen to. In John chapter 10, verse 1 through 10. There's a whole lot more. I'm just giving you one viewpoint. Like that ball, what God's doing out there, one little bitty angle. And it's got an infinite. Because this thing is like an infinite amount. If you take just one thought process, you break it down to this Earth Alpha Centauri, that would have like 35,300 e to the 12th million trillion. 6 zeros plus 12 zeros. Million's got 6 zeros in it. A trillion has got 12 zeros in it. You add the 6 to 12, 18 more zeros out past the 35,300, which has 2 zeros right there. That's just a grain of sand out one thought process. And you germinate that, you got one bullet. It's like one grain of sand that's joining God is growing bright. Let God build that thing to where it grows brighter and brighter and brighter. Okay? Don't let it be keeping you under the letter of the law in its jail cell. Staying drunk like Otis in the thing and giving you the false illusion that you got a key. You can just get it off the wall and get out there anytime you want to. Just go in there and sleep off your drunkenness on you're drunk on your own carnal thinking process. You're the king of your own heart. No. God's the rightful king. The battle is the Lord's. The only way you get increase is to agree with God emphatically. In hot pursuit, green light God. All right, and it grows. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. 32, 64, 128. Huh? 256, 5, 12. Oh, man, he's really starting to get it. And it gets greater and greater and greater. Because there's a whole bunch, a whole lot, unimaginable amount that you got to take care of. That's just in your observable universe. What's on out past what you can think. There's 93 billion light years of your observable universe. What these other people, why are you going out there trying to point the finger and poke somebody else's eye out? God's in all of us. Planted seeds in all so he loses none, even if they remain an ungenerated seed. God is the greatest. Come on, let God bring you up to his higher way of thinking. Okay, now let's get into this. That's a start. Now, let's read the first verse first. I'm just going to read verse 3 of Romans chapter 12, verse 3. You can read the rest. There's a lot, incredible amount here. I'm just going to focus on one little part of this, okay? Let's read it out of the King James Version. For I say, through the grace given unto me, we know what grace is, that charis, right? To every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. Be arrogant. I got more than just one bullet. Here, I can destroy all of them. You can't even change one. I hear you, God. Tell me to go from this level 2 to 0 power. It's one bullet. Use that to just obliterate all of it right now. First steps first. You can't skip those steps. Remember? You got one. You got to agree and use that one. Habitually practice. We're going to get to that. Got a green hot pursuit. Emphatically. God, let him shoot it out. The battle is the Lord's. And go to a 2. That 4-way stop. Then go to 8 or 4. 1 to 2, then the 4, then the 8. And this is you're a green light. You're habitually practice. Now, I say, through the grace given to me, to every man among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought, to arrogantly, pompous, carnal, okay? Actively hostile to you going back. It's trying to trip you up like a Jacob nature. Remember, Jacob was changed to Israel, went to a name change, a nature, character, authority change, just like we're doing. God's doing this relationship building in there, giving us opportunity to come out of this dark way of thinking, this 666 way of thinking. He's taking that writing off the wall that's in your jail cell. Like Barney Fife's jail cell. Barney Fife and Hulk Hogan in there yakking and carrying on at you, mocking you. Why are you building this big ark right here in the desert place in your mind? That's supposed to be lifting you above all this earthly, fleshly thinking. And all the floods from this stuff coming. Trying to bully and tyrant you. It's like Goliath mocking. You're just not that God of yours is not. What are you going to do? Take that rock. That identifies that, like Barney was saying, this is here at the rock. And that's the false prison of your mind. The false king. The false tyrants. Barney Fife. And Hulk Hogan over here. Oh. Nah. Don't buy into that. Kick its butt out. List God. God's there to help you. Heating it up so you can chop that stuff out, skim it out. Erase that writing on the wall, because in that jail cell it's got 666 in your mind. 666. Humanistic thinking, humanistic thinking, humanistic thinking. Don't look at it like, oh man, this devil and stuff that's out there, is that the mark of the beast? Oh! Think of it that way. That is the mark of your beast nature. And it's in your works, your hand, and in your mind. Let God take it out. You can't do that spiritual warfare at all yourself. Don't be a dumbass. Don't be like a donkey on it. No. I told him to get out. No. You're not speaking in the love of God. You're not in the light. You're not letting God revitalize you. I'm going to get to this stuff, I think. I might have to do at least a couple, probably. I don't know. Let's get to it. Okay. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God has dealt to everyone a measure, a metron, a limited portion of faith, this seed. And whatever level you're at, it's good news. Where God's increased you. Not you think, man, like Barney Fife's always thinking, man, I'm big man. He's a little bit skinny guy. A little wiry, like a little weasel. Shakiest gun in the West. My wife and I watched that. That's funny. That's a pretty good little show. I watched it a long time ago. I watched it again yesterday. It's funny. Okay? Alright? Now, so don't be arrogant. In your own, me, myself, and I, that ego wants to edge God out. And at the same time, while you're feeding into that stuff, they're like digging you a grave. They're piling stuff on stuff. Bullcrap thinking. On top of that, we'll bury this thing. Getting all calloused down there, stomping, patting it down. On top of that seed in you. Put more and more of that yuck thinking. He ain't never getting out now. Oh. Right? Alright. Now, let's go to another place. Philippians 4. Just want to read verse 9. Alright. Those things which you have both learned and received and heard in me, and seen in me, in Christ, okay? Do, that's prasu, habitually practice. And the God of peace will be, it says with you in the King James, that's mata. Remember, that's coming out of this stuff and coming up all the way, towards and into God. Coming up higher. Coming out of that poop way of thinking. Being in that jail cell, Barney Fife and Hulk Hogan out there going, dum, 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 trying to scare you. Do you hear me now? Barney Fife over there screaming, this is the Rock. You'll do it by the letter of the law. Do-do, don't, do-do, poo-poo in your temple. Keep that 666 on the wall and don't you dare write nothing else. Don't you dare allow none of that carnal mind to be driven out. So that the right-mindedness of God can be put in there. God can bring you back to light, enlighten you. Don't you dare don't you give in to that Barney Fife and Hulk Hogan in your mind. Bullies and tyrants like that. Ites. And imaginations, nations in your mind. With that Deuteronomy 7:1, the chief captain of all them. It was like in 1 Chronicles chapter 11, verse 6. The Jebusite. That religious, separatist, don't know, pharisaical stuff. Just polish outside your cup. And leave that writing on the wall of your mind. 666. Let God take it out. Shoot it out. With that gunfights at the OK Corral. Those four-way stops. In the storms of your life. And in the eye of that storm. The only way you can let that funnel take you like through the eye of the needle is to get rid of that baggage thinking that God's trying to get rid of. And he's trying to get rid of, like at that 2 to the 1 going to the 2 to the 2, he's offering you to use that one bullet that you got, that 2 to the first pot, 2 to the, you just generated it, 2 to the 0 power, that one bullet, to let him zap that one thought process out of this one here and make it grow to 1 plus 1 is 2. Next time you got 2 bullets. And he's trying to go from 2 to 4. Stop all that. Be still. Put a muzzle on it. Wow. Let God, the ace gunfighter in your mind, let him, I want to do it. It's popping and cracking coming up. Let him shoot it out with that plasma rifle. Wow! It's going to grow. As you think, make decisions for Christ. Because you have to make decisions. Try not to make a decision. Old Barney Fife and Hulk Hogan here are going to make a decision for you, and they're going to keep you in that jail and make you think, like Otis, you can get out of it anytime you want, because there's the key. If he tried to get out, Barney's like, putting him right back in there, and then he got big old Hulk Hogan over there. Hey, get your butt back in there. Can you hear me now? Oh. Don't be a love slave to Barney Fife and Hulk Hogan out there. Be a love slave to God. Obey God. Don't obey your own carnal mind. In other words. Now, I'll just have it pronounced that do, and I'll go on. The word that comes from, it's prasso, okay? There's a whole lot there. It's Prasso 4238. The word that translated as do is this word.
Strong's G 4238. Prasso.
Prasso, okay.
Prasso.
It's and the strongest to practice, to perform repeatedly each intersection, 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, right? It's to habitually practice. It's green light, green lighting God, agreeing with God emphatically, habitually, coming back to that EMS writing God. Meta, you're coming out of this stuff, coming all the way up and then heading back to resting and being in union with God. Okay? Now, Okay, honey, I love you. See, there's many in this natural way of thinking that they just do it one time and they try to do like Barney Fife. Out there trying to enforce the law. And they're in their own jail cell in their mind. They got one bullet and it's in their pocket. Maybe they even took it out and put it in their gun, but they're trying to go into a gunfight at each one of these the battle of the OK Corral, where you need to give God and you're not ready for that. You got one bullet in your plasma to get for God to load up. You're trying to take on 35,300 million trillion grains of sand, and that's one thought process. I love you too, honey. Have a great day. Okay, baby, I love you. Now, and that's one thought process out of the myriad, like 93 billion light years. You can't even, and it's constantly growing in this dark way of thinking. It's growing out. It's not going to come back to oneness in God. Unless you green light. Let God bring it in. A whole lot of green light. Habitually practice it. I'll have to continue this later. I'm about to run out of time. Please share, hit like, subscribe to these things. The spiritual toolboxes. I'm going to keep going. Froggy creepy throat or not. Amen.